Hey guys, Sean with Custom Offices TV on YouTube. We got another one of these holiday builds for you. We just finished up. It's 2018 Ford F-150, brand new truck. We did a 6-inch BDS with the Fox Shock upgrade, some 22x10, as Mason says it, fuel assaults, some 35, 12.5 Toyo Open Country A T2s, got window tint, cat skin leather. This is gonna be a limited edition spotlight. So we're gonna show you all the details, show you garage height, show you trimming, show you clearance, and then we're gonna take you for a ride. Let's go!
They so clean, custom offsets, team stances, the team on top of it now. We ain't never gonna fade, so you better get ready for taking over the game.
So for wheels and tires, we went with the Fuel Assault, and that's gonna be a 22x10 -19. So it's not really a lip test when you do the build test here, but I will show you that concavity. So it's a 10 wide -19, like I said, and you're gonna see that spoke, which is basically about 6 inches. If I stand that straight up off of the hub, it's about that full spoke deep. So this whole wheel is almost 6 inches deep that it's pushed in, giving this concave look. And it's really a badass look. If you kind of take a look at that back wheel from here, you'll see at that angle, it really gives it a mean look rolling down the street and just gives it that concave look that was super popular in the car world. And now it's making its way in the truck world. I think you'll see more and more of that coming from all the wheel companies this year. So like I said, -19 offset, and this is that machined in gloss black Fuel Assault. Actually, this is the satin black, I'm sorry. They make a gloss and a satin, this is the satin. And then this is gonna be wrapped in the Toyo Open Country AT2 Extreme. So this is their updated AT2, and it's gonna be a 35, 12.5. So you see she's 35, 12, tall, 12.5 wide. Because you've got that 10 wide, it's got a nice sidewall. It's got some protection down here. If you kind of look at the bottom, Mason, you'll see it's got some sidewall protection, which is good because this wheel really comes out. These bump outs come out past the lip of the wheel. This tire is actually gonna protect that a little bit because of the 10 wide on the 12.5. 10 wides, -19, 35, 12.5. So you're gonna see that you have to go in and modify the front crash bar. So you'll see she's been taken off here. We basically only take off where it's gonna hit. Because of the apex of this tire is gonna dig into here, you've gotta cut that off, you've gotta trim here, and then you've gotta get in and trim this valance. Otherwise, you're not gonna clear that. In the back, you can see there was no need for trimming. It's all clear. And this rear bar was left intact with the 10 wide 35s. When you start going to 12 wides, you've also got to get into that one and start pushing this back, and you'd also have to trim that fender flare. But we didn't have to because of that setup. So we'll show you we'll crank that a little bit and show you how that thing turns in your clearance. So that's full crank to the right, and you'll see it's got plenty of clearance. You'll clear that all day. You're not even gonna have any issues backing up out of driveways, which are usually the suspect. What am I the closest? Right about there? Not even close. And that's gonna be full crank the other direction. And again, you've got some clearance. It shouldn't be a problem. You may rub on that a little bit. Because it's a brand new truck, we don't over trim them. If that were to rub and the customer wanted us to, we would just come in and trim that corner off. But like I said, we try to leave them as intact as you can while still getting the aggressive setups that people want. That gives you an idea of the wheels and tires. We'll kind of take you up front here and look down the side of this thing. So if you look at the stance of the truck now, it's pretty much perfectly flush with those 4-inch bushwhacker pocket flares. So you'll see we paint to match the pocket flares. I believe this one you can order right on our site, already paint to match. It's one of the Bushwhacker colors that they offer. So it's already set to go. Then it's already assembled. You don't have to do all that after paint. It's literally just attached to the truck, front and rear. And you see the Bushwhackers back here as well. And what it does is it basically keeps most of that tire inside, which is gonna keep the truck a lot cleaner. And that's why in these brand new ones, people are a big fan of it because they're spending all that money. They don't want the rock chips up the side of the truck and whatnot. That's why the flares are super common on these newer builds. So we'll kind of take it front to back. You'll see that it's got, I'm no Ford expert. I'm more of the Chevy guy. I know you guys get mad at me about all that. But I believe that the whole grille is new. I know that they were talking that the headlights are extended even more. So that's one of the biggest changes of the 2018. Y'all Ford people will know more of the changes. But we'll just give you a close-up look. So then the rest of what you'll see we did is we did the 35%. So in the past, we'd been doing a lot of 20% match so we could match the factory rear to the front. One of the things with 20% is it starts to get a little dark at night to see. And the other thing is here in Wisconsin, there's a 50% tint law. So we tried to get a little closer with doing 35%. So you'll see it's a little lighter, but you still get the tinted window look. And then inside, we again did the cat skin leather. So you'll see that cat skin leather with the grayish white stitching, which matches the door panels and the rest of the interior really well. You'll see this 2018 is optioned out really well. And then being the crew, she's got a nice big back seat. Everything flips up, tucks away. And you'll see as far as the trim throughout the truck, it's got like a graphite gray for the handles and the trim, and then chrome surround on that. The rear you'll see stock through the BDS suspension, custom offsets and fuel decals on, and of course the custom offsets limited edition. She's got the chrome bumpers in the rear. Had the chrome up front and the chrome grille. I believe it's the Sport that then blacks everything out. So this one would be the chrome version of the FX4. So the big question a lot of people were asking is, will this get in my garage? So here is the answer: no. That would be painful. You could get it in the garage, but you're gonna have to get a run at it and it'd probably be stuck in there because it's gonna hit right about there. It's gonna hit pretty hard. So as far as a 7-foot garage, the 6-inch Ford F150 2018 on 35's is not gonna fit. An 8-foot would fit all day. I don't think we need to show them that. It'll fit easy on 8-foot because it was barely hitting. So you'll be good to go with the 8-foot door. Anything in between there, you're gonna have to measure. It looked like it was, you know, a few inches from making it into a 7-foot. So next, Mason and I are gonna jump in this bad boy, take her for a ride, let you guys know what we think of it and stuff. Let's go. Okay guys, like we said, we will now take a ride. This bad boy's got a whopping 88.2 miles, so she's definitely brand new. Just finished. They lift wheels, tires, trimming, all that fun stuff. I wish we could take them out and really see what they can do, but since they're brand new trucks, and hopefully one of you are gonna end up owning it, we're gonna be really nice to it and just see how she rides. Do some highway speeds, see if there's any tire pull. The usual, I just lifted my truck and now I don't like how it rides. I think one of the things that a lot of folks don't realize is right when you put brand new shocks in a vehicle, they will settle, they will soften, and they'll have a better dampening. So sometimes like this one right now, I can feel that the rear is a little stiff. I had the same thing on the H2 Hummer we just did with Bilstein's, and after a week, it rides like an absolute dream. So I think one thing is don't panic. The other thing is you've got 35 by 12.5-inch mud tires now. You're going from those little radial all-terrains or radials, whatever they are, the factory stuff. And now you've got these big wides. It's got no tire pull whatsoever. That huge ravine tipped it a little bit, but it didn't steer the truck, it just moved the steering wheel. But my point was, you're gonna have to get used to the 12.5 wides are gonna grab cracks in the road a little bit. and you'll feel it, it'll follow more of the road because you have a lot more contact patch. So that's one of the things that we've had people bring trucks back and they're like, man, this thing is goofed up. It's all over the road. And it's like, no, you went from little skinny tires to big wide 12.5. So that's one thing you just get used to after you drive the truck for a week. You'll never notice it again. It's just because you're transitioning from one to the other. But like in the previous videos, I mean, the BDSs always ride phenomenal on these trucks. And then 35 12.5 6-inch lift, it has all the power in the world. I don't think you have to worry about re-gearing and all that. So Mason survived grabbing the window sticker. There was no accidents, nobody was hurt in the making of this film. And we found out that it's got 3.55s in the rear, electronic locking rear, and then it's got the EcoBoost. So what is that, 3.5? 3.5 liter V6 twin turb ski EcoBoost. And it's got plenty of get up and go. We got a red light, so we'll put a tiny bit of throttle behind it. I don't want to beat up on somebody's brand new truck with 89.7 miles, so we're gonna behave. And then we'll get it up to highway speed, get up to 75 and see how she rides. Yeah, that was like 1/18th throttle. I'm sure she'd probably pull a wheelie if you actually gave it some throttle. Ride's nice though. Like I said, it'd go perfectly straight down the road. It's okay. Flipping us off. What is this guy doing? He's going 10 miles an hour. God damn it, Bobby. She. We're just gonna slow down a little bit so we can do a little on-ramp throttle. Has absolutely no trouble getting up to highway speed. Just totally left that 1982 Ford Taurus in our dust. So that's all the way to 70. Our roads up in Wisconsin are absolutely horrible this time of year because everything's starting to go back to freezing phase, and she still rides nice. You can see there's a tiny bit of bump for a 6-inch lift, and I don't know if you can show them those roads, Mason, but our roads are crap. And it still rides nice. I would say this ride's pretty much identical to my stock Silverado, so. Brakes, plenty. You don't need any kind of big brake kit or something like that for a 6-inch lift 35s. I'm barely touching the brakes and it stops with no problem whatsoever. Here's the moral of my story. Mason, tell me if you disagree. 6-inch lift, 35s, 10 wides, some 22s, son, and this thing rides perfect. Awesome truck. It's a little warm in here though. Hit us with your questions. As you guys know, this is only like, I think our 2nd or 3rd limited edition spotlight. Let us know if you want to see more because we can add more details to these, but hopefully this is meeting a lot of the needs of the guys and gals that have chimed in and told us that they want to see more detail. Peace.